Understand. Do you understand? Do you get it? Do you understand? Understand. Do you understand the terms and conditions? How many times have you heard that word, understand? For me, it's a lot of times. And it's understand is composed of two parts, right? Under and stand. So if somebody is standing there and you're under them, are they kind of like above you, right? Think about this. If someone's standing there, a really big person, a really big body, that the, get rid of that sound at the moment. So understand is that you're standing under somebody. You're standing under an authority. So when we've been trained since when we were, do you understand? Your parent talk, do you understand? Basically, your parent is saying, do you know that I know better? Do you get it? Do you understand what I'm telling you? What I'm telling you or what I'm communicating to you is like the power. So when someone says to you, do you understand? It's like, are you standing under the information or the individual that is giving you that information? And so when you start to change your words, you actually start to get out of the system, of the illusion that you're in. See, I'll give you an example. Last night I was at this beautiful sweat, right? And we were on the third round, it was all about healing. We were holding people in our hearts that we wanted to heal. We were talking about the spirits, helping to heal, the energies, the steam. We were feeding strawberries. And in the conversation, as we were passing the strawberries around, there was an interlude that we needed to understand, in the sense of comprehend, that because of COVID, we had to use a spoon. We couldn't just put our hands in the strawberries. And so for me, that was just this, like, I could feel this disconnect in that moment. And I spoke afterwards to the wonderful gentleman that led it. And I said, did you notice that there's a little disconnect there? Right? You're talking about healing, you're talking about health. We're all in this closed dairy containers, side by side, breathing in everybody else's air. And then we have this little bit of information that doesn't quite fit with the vision that is being created. It's just that one little word. But that one little word, COVID, has multiple meanings and connections for each and every one of us now in the world, practically. Anybody that's heard it or been around, it has this energy, it has stories, it has meanings. Dun, 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 COVID. Do you understand? Right? Do you understand all the rules of COVID? Do you get it? So each word that I speak, that you speak, has a meaning that you or I have attached to it. And in a sense, the legal jargon, when you agree to the terms and conditions, when you're just signing a website or you're agreeing that they use cookies, you realize that most of us are just hitting the agree. We have been trained that we don't have a friggin' clue what all these things are saying. We have created a system, this legal system, that their job really is to find all the ways on paper, to find ways out of things, right? Corporations are about having no liability. They have no regard of the harm or trespass they have on an individual. Okay, they're designed by their corporate legal structure to make profit. And profit sometimes at the expense of life. And so in your vision that you're creating and what you're putting out there in the world and how you're talking and being, it's whether or not you are the authority in your life, right? Are you connected in your heart, as we talked about so much last night? That was so beautiful. I was so honored to be there. And Yeah, all together, breathing the same air, sweating the same sweat. You know, like we're just the steam. We're all sweating our own sweat, but we're in this experience, and in this unity, we're all very different. And in this unity, we're all having a different experience. We're all having different thoughts that come to us, right? We're all speaking out different things. We're all feeling different things. And that's perfection. That's how we were designed. We were designed to see things differently, to notice things differently, to experience things differently. Because if I am the authority of this experience, then I am trusting through my heart, my inner guidance, my inner knowing, the pulse of what I call creator. The mind has gotten silent. So we've had many, if you've gone on silent retreats, if you've studied Buddhism, any of that, even just personal development now, we're talking about quieting the mind, stopping the mind chatter, getting out of monkey mind, all these phrases again that have been coined. And if you really knew what monkey mind, like when I say to people that I work with and I go, do you have a monkey mind? Well, yeah, like it's just like that. I go, oh, so you have a mind of a monkey. No. Well, that's what you just said. Is that what you mean? Well, no, people repeat phrases that somebody else has said. That's part of this great hypnosis, this great education, this great comprehension that you get in the sense that resonates with you, but it may not resonate completely fully in your body. And we're at a point for a lot of people now that the discernment, it's different than attachment, the discernment of dark and light and fine grades of it and variety, in the sense, the contrast that resonates with you is in a sense being fine-tuned. It's like you're coming in complete alignment. If you've ever had the experience when you've been in like total darkness and and then you go to light and you're like, whoa, and it's, your eyes are going like this, you might feel differently. It's a different experience. And it's like the sun. You can't look directly at the sun because it's so bright. So sometimes we get flashes of insight, right? Have you heard that phrase? Flashes of insight, or I get a download of information. And that's essentially what technology is helping us to sort of process, because it's a physical manifestation of what we're capable of. Like here I am in my house talking to my computer. That's really all I'm doing, right? I'm talking to my computer, but I hit a couple buttons, and you could be hearing it somewhere else where you are in the world, right? And that's the amazing thing about technology. Well, that's the connection we have already, right? Heart to heart resonance, heart coherence, heart math. These things, it's just not ideas that have come up just now. They've been going on since the beginning of time. And if you're still working on the linear time and you're talking about 25,000, 30,000 years ago, etc., you're still in that process. But the universe is like a spiral in the sense. It's multidimensional. It's I won't, somebody comprehends it. But for me, it's like I used to say to my kids, it's almost like you're on every different TV station. You're an actor, but you're playing in a different movie. So I'll use Meryl Streep. She's always, because she's so great at everything. So she's, on Channel 2 in the sense, she's Devil Wears Prada. Channel 3, she's Sophie's Choice. Channel 4, she's like Mamma Mia. And so she's a different role. And in that sense that everybody's having a different perspective and a different dimension, a different parallel experience, you're multidimensional. And then to try and put everybody in a box and go, well, you're supposed to fit there. You're supposed to see it this way because I see it that way. Like we were laughing, coming back, Denise and I, because it was just, it's incomprehensible for someone that sees something so clearly and someone else to look at the same thing and see it completely differently, right? It's just kind of like, what? Don't you? Because they really are in a different dimension. They're like on a different station. They're in a different part. It's like if you're directing the movie, that lead character and the extra over here that just has to be in this part, they're in two different parts. They're going to see two different perspectives, but it's necessary for the movie. So comprehending is the word that I'm choosing to use now as much as I can, instead of saying understand. Because I am, in a sense, having a new experience with my language to ensure that when somebody says to me, do you understand? I say no. No. There is no authority that I stand under except God, Creator, Source, Consciousness. As I was saying last night, there could be 100 people in front of me saying, you need to do it this way. And if I am feeling in my heart, my God Creator impulse is saying, it's that way, I'll go that way. That's how much confidence I have in my inner guidance. That's what I know to be true. It's taken me a long time to get here in the sense of the linear time. It's also just like a heart reset. We're all there. We were all given that moment. We were all created to be. And then we started to understand how the world works. We were taught everything, taught colors, we were taught traditions, we were taught rituals, we were taught, and that teaching, wherever we were in the world, became our framework. Those are our beliefs. And in the word be, lie, there's the word lie, right? You're being a lie, because every time we actually separate from the source consciousness, in the sense that like the presence we speak, I've already separated in the sense I'm giving you like the sun ray, but I'm not the sun. And that's what we need to do. And that's why we say we're just human. But human, if you look up that word, you look up that human is like saying we're like still like a primate, right? And I know I'm a God-given creation. Like I'm an amazing, this intelligence, this creation of how it was created. It's just like everything in Mother Nature, from the tiniest little insect to the flower, right? It's extraordinary. So when I know who I am that I am, the only authority that I am listening to is the one that comes through here. So I comprehend that this system wants me to stand under their authority, but this system is breaking down, and I personally choose to believe, again, be lie, because it could be a lie, but I'm choosing the story to say that this is breaking down like a caterpillar, turning into a butterfly. In order to do that, the system has to come down. So that means that the lawyers have to realize that they're so busy working on the proper words in a piece of paper in a legal document, whether that is working for their client or against their client. They're looking for loopholes. They're looking for, okay, his fingerprint wasn't really there, or could they really identify him? They're looking for something so they can collaborate and corroborate on paper to get for their client or against their client, whatever the situation. I guess they're always working for their client and against the other person. Whereas in person, again, is that word that sounds like you're a corporate entity, right? You're an individual, but you're treated as a corporate entity. They're looking, again, who cares about the individual? Over here in natural justice, it's heart to heart. It's like we honored everybody last night and what each was going through. And when one had to step out, it was like, that's perfect. We love and accept everybody for where they are at. And we recognize it's each individual's journey. So if there is a direct harm, we want to correct it. We want to come in harmony with it, because that's the natural flow of life. That's the natural flow of life. That's what each of us has in our heart. It's just natural. So there are things that you may have felt or seen or heard in your life that immediately you just went, that seems off. It's like the person that has perfect pitch and hears a note and goes, whoa, and someone else goes, oh, that was really great singing. And they're like, whoa, I don't think so. So Each of us has a different perspective. Each of us has a different experience. Each of us resonates differently. But together, we're all a little note in the universe. Boom, boom, boom. You know, the drum beat. So all of this is essential because the breakdown of the caterpillar has to happen before the butterfly can come and fly. And so in some ways, it's almost like people are realizing the caterpillar has been in the chrysalis now for like 15 months, 18 months for a lot of people. And they're like, now what? Now what? What happens? Because life isn't quite different. You know, the caterpillar is still having remnants of the caterpillar. It hasn't quite started to see that they're turning into a butterfly. And that's what's happening. And as you stop being in here and thinking you're under someone else's authority, under someone else's story, under someone else's beliefs, rules, colonization, etc., 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 someone else's history, and you just come back to your heart. What's true to you? What feels correct to you? And in some cases, it may be like, oh my gosh, it's so different from everyone in my family. What do I do now? I can only say that when you can get to the place that you can truly trust here and trust that everything is happening the way it needs to, and everyone is having their own experiences, and when you actually stand in your authority, when you stand aligned with what you feel, you give power to every other person like a lighthouse, spreading the light for them to step into who they are. It's the opposite of what you've been told is to go to the weakest link. We're only strong as the weakest link. No, when you know who you are and you know who you are, when I know who you are, I hold you in the space that you're in, but I hold you in the highest that you can do it. And it's just like we were taught last night. That the turtle, when it turns, when it's on its back, on its shell, the natural impulse, like I said, is like, just want to turn it back over so it can move. But the teaching, the native teaching, is to patience, that the turtle can turn itself back over. Being patient for that turtle to turn itself back over, for that right moment in time. That's the gift. We can fix a lot of things, but just because we fix them doesn't mean we fix them. Doesn't mean someone's learned the lesson or the teaching or the moment. And if you look back in history, you can see history repeats itself because there's this fundamental belief that we're going to fix it all the time. And we're going to go, oh, we're going to figure this out and do that. And that's part of the process. I truly believe everything from there got us to here from a linear perspective, but it's all happening now. So you have the power in the moment. So just like you can turn your computer off and on when the technician says, turn your computer off and on, see if that helps, run a malware check. You can do that every moment and reset. Today is a brand new day. Today in each has so many moments. I don't know how many moments, but there's a lot of seconds in every minute, 60 times 60 times 60. You know how that, there's a lot of moments, but a moment is a moment is a moment. And each moment you can reset. Just put your hand in your heart. Open up your palms. I'm asking for my inner guidance. You can just say it with me. Open your palms. Repeat after me. Just think of something happy. I'm asking for my inner guidance to clearly communicate with me in each and every moment for my highest and best good. And I'm asking to be open to receive this clear communication in each and every moment for my highest and best good. And take joyful action on it. Thank you. And just notice what you're feeling. Just notice what you're feeling in your body. Are your hands warm or cold? Can you feel tingling in your toes? Are you calmer? Do you have some discomfort? You have to like shake it out, or you got a little pain, speak it out. It's as simple as it is to tune in. And everybody has a couple minutes. Whether or not you feel you deserve it or you're open to receiving it, and that you can have your heart's desires and you can stand under your own authority, God, Creator's authority, you're in a perfect alignment. It's a journey, step by step. And you've got this. You have everything you need in your heart. And there's many of us around that can be like little, you know, little like signposts or reminders, but ultimately knowing, truly knowing, truly getting it, truly comprehending it is being it, being. And that's what you are, a being, a sentient being, a living, breathing being. Lots of love. Have a beautiful day.